Hey guys, and welcome to another mod spotlight for Minecraft 194 and hopefully plus. This time we're checking out Tomb, T-O-M-B, mini graves. Get it? Tomb, too many graves, too many graves. Let's start this thing off with a death montage, shall we? Standing in lava. Swimming in lava. Drowning in a shallow pool. Drowning while swimming. Suffocation. Falling into the void. And maybe, for some reason, you just managed to explode yourself. Oh no. And maybe, somehow, one of those dead-eye skeletons in 1.9 managed to kill you while you're in the middle of the air. So, why the death montage? Well, when I first found two mini graves, I must admit, I was attracted by the punderful name, but I quickly found how robust Too Many Graves is. So many times, grave mods are imperfect. There are situations where the graves will simply not spawn, or if they do spawn, the search algorithm that places the grave will just put it in a very strange place and you will have a great deal of difficulty finding it. Or in the off chance that it doesn't find a place to put it, there is no recourse in getting your inventory back. So, I just did that death montage to show you, basically, that regardless of the circumstances, there seems to be no situation where too many mods cannot spawn your grave. So this was standing in lava. You can see my grave is happily just sitting there staring up at me. It is obviously a head on a slab. We'll talk more about this head in a second. If we go into swimming in lava, we will find, yes, there it is. It is floating there on its own slab of lava with the head staring up at me. And if we look at the shallow death in water, we will see, yep, there's my head staring back up at me on the with the dirt that I was standing on. And same with here, you can see me floating down there with my head. I think in this case, like the lava puts the lava slab under my head. I don't think that is the same for this head. No, it spawned a dirt slab. Either way, it has spawned me. You can see that with the suffocation, it has just put me in the next valid spot, which happens to be this back corner here. It will find the closest bit of air and put me in it, whether that's above the pile or beside the pile. In this case, I was standing in this back corner when I suffocated, so it stuck me right there. Of course, as you'll see in my death messages here, place of death, XYZ. This is not the location you died, this is the location the grave was placed. So, what that means is that it is very, very easy for you to find your grave, even if you are playing without a mini-map or something like that that doesn't have a death pointer. In fact, I would say that it's a bad idea to trust the death pointers from minimaps and that, because this is giving you a direct coordinate straight to your grave. This is the coordinate of your grave, not of where you died, which a lot of minimaps show you where you died, but not where your grave is, because there is no interoperability between those mods. And of course, we also have falling out of the world. This happens quite often if you're fighting the Ender Dragon. It will put you above the death point. So of course we died somewhere way down there, but because of the style we died in, it put us way up here. But here is my grave. It's a floating head this time, because obviously there was nothing underneath me when I died. So there you go. If we come up here, the next one was that I exploded myself. It's a very similar situation to falling out of the void, really, because when you die from explosion, or a big enough one, you're actually floating. But here we are, here's my grave in midair on a piece of dirt. So as you can see, Too Many Graves seems to be extremely robust in the way that you die. In that final death where I was shot by a skeleton, we have a floating head again. Okay, so regardless of the style of death, it seems that Too Many Graves manages to keep you nice and safe regardless of the situation that you died in. And this is how you pick up your graves. You simply walk over them. You want to give me that one? And in this situation where the lava was surrounding it, you might want to protect the grave first, but oh, you still can't accidentally pick it up. That's because you need to shift over it before you can pick it up. The reason I could pick up this one before without shift walking over it is because it was flying, basically. So it's not usually in a situation where you can shift over it anyway. Same deal with this one. I would go and retrieve the head, but look, it's a lot of trouble. You just have to trust me. You can retrieve the head the old-fashioned way by replacing the lava down to where your body is, and then you can shift over it. Same way I did with this one. Water. This one is in the water, so it's similar to the flying situation. And if I just walk over it, oh, no, it is going to make me shift over it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Either way, it still works. And same with this one. We'll jump down there, grab you, hold shift, get the diamonds back, and now I'm under the water. And it's pushing down on me because there's source blocks at the top. So, there is a feature though. Maybe you don't want to accidentally pick your stuff up, even when you're holding shift. Maybe it's surrounded by mobs, or it's in a dangerous situation and you just really don't want to pick it up before you're absolutely certain you can get the stuff back from it. Shift, right click. The grave is now locked. You cannot pick up what's in here, and you'll simply pass through the grave rather than standing on it, as you can see, and you will not be able to get the stuff back until you shift right click again, so to unlock the grave, at which point hold shift and you get your stuff back. Okay, so with some of the more immediate features of Too Many Graves out of the way, let's talk about some of the more nitty-gritty stuff. First of all, you'll notice with these graves that they are completely indestructible. The only way that you can destroy them as any normal block is if you go into creative mode and then break them, at which point it will drop whatever you are holding on the ground. Something else that is important is if I get myself some basic armor and tools and I put them on, that was pants into the shoe slot. Whoops. Okay. And then I murder kill myself. Something very special about Too Many Graves that not a lot of other grave mods attempt to do. I think I know of one or two others. I'm going to intentionally put the stone block here. Is that if I go and collect myself, you'll notice that it put everything it could back into the slots that they were in. It put my armor back on, it put my items back on, and although you didn't see it happen, what actually happened in regards to the diamond pickaxe is, instead of it going back into the slot, it was very quickly dropped on the ground and then my character picked it up. So it was stored in my inventory in the next best place that Vanilla Minecraft would actually store it. But otherwise, it tries to put them in the exact same place that you had them. So keep that in mind when you are grave hunting. The next thing we should talk about, though, is friends. I can't really demonstrate a lot of the friends stuff on here, but we will briefly discuss it. Something you'll note about the graves is only you can interact with them. That is, of course, until you put someone on your friends list. Then that person can interact with your graves as you would. Otherwise, everyone's locked out of it. They can't touch your graves whatsoever. Again, if there's graves lying about that need to be accessed, maybe the person died a whole bunch and then left the server, then an admin will have to come into creative mode and smash them himself or herself. But let's talk about how to add people to your friends list. So the first command is tmg for too many graves _friend, and then the name of the player that you want to make your friend. So let's do Direwolf20. Direwolf is now my friend. So if Direwolf somehow got onto my single player game in this test world, he could interact with my graves however he wants to. He can retrieve my stuff for me if I need him to, or he could steal from it, but that would be mean. That's generally the whole stealing thing is why there is a friends list system in the first place. And to remove them, simply tmg _remove friend Direwolf20. Direwolf20 has been removed from my friends list. The other thing is, if I add Direwolf back on, you can do tmg _list, and it will list all the friends in your list, who right now we only have Direwolf20. Alright, with friends out of the way, now we want to talk about more of the command-based stuff. Say, for example, that grave right there didn't exist in the world for some reason, or it was in a place that was impossible to reach. Then a operator or somebody with permissions to be able to use the commands on the server or the single player map can use these commands. First of all, here it's tmg _restore, and then the name of the person that you want to restore the inventory to, followed by latest, and that will give you the items from your latest death for that character. However, if you do know of a different grave and the person has died multiple times since that grave, and you know the time of death, you can do year, month, day, followed by hours, minutes, seconds. So if you know the timestamp of the death, you can follow that format and you can get the items from that grave, even if it isn't the latest grave for the person. But for this demonstration, it is the latest grave for the person, so we will just do latest. As you can see, the grave does not disappear. This is intentional in case the grave is found again, or because it's just difficult to try and detect a grave that hasn't been picked up. But you'll notice that it has restored my inventory as if I had died. So if I come over here, I do get a double. So be aware of that, because this is a operator command for a reason. So if we just get rid of this stuff, and I have murdered myself again, we can move to the other version of that command, which is simply tmg _drop, then the player, and then again either a timestamp or latest, and it will drop everything at your feet rather than trying to equip it to you in the normal style. So there you go, that is the basic commands for Too Many Graves. Okay, and finally on Too Many Graves feature list is the fact that when you die, let's just try and get it from falling. Oh, not quite. Let's just do it the command way then. And respawn, you'll get a death inventory list in your inventory. This is pretty cool. If you right click it, it will give you a GUI with the items that were on your person when you died. This is extra helpful if you are a player that needs to tell a mod what you lost, because sometimes it's really hard to remember what was on your person. So in regards to those situations where your grave is unreachable or it has disappeared for some reason, although I have yet to find a situation where Too Many Graves can't make a grave for you, you do have a list of what you lost. very useful. And if you want to get rid of the list, simply press Q to throw it away and it disappears completely. It is gone. Now, because it is gone, you might actually want to get it back at some point. So you simply do tomb many graves underscore get death list in the person's name, and then of course the timestamp, and there it is. And anyone can do that, including the player. It doesn't have to be an operator or somebody with special permissions for that command. That one is available to anyone. So those are the features of Tomb Many Graves. As you can see, it is extremely robust and extremely feature-filled version of a grave mod, which is crazy if you think about it, because it's such a simple concept, create a grave, but the author has managed to create something very, very special. So, thank you very much to MathGeek, that is M4thG33k, super elite, for creating Tomb Many Graves, and thank you all for watching this mod spotlight. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.